thought this one had scriptures. Wait a minute. I think I have another. Give y'all a chance to get here. I thought I had one. Okay, let's see. Where's my phone? Let's see who's here. And we're going to get started. Do I want to do that first? No. Let's see who's here first. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and get started. And we are going to do a journal entry out of a woman's gratitude journal. 200 writing prompts and inspirational quotes for everyday happiness. And if you're a man and you're watching, I'm pretty sure you can still use these journal prompts. You don't specifically have to be a woman, but this book was, is geared towards women. So today's prompt is: stress is part of everyday life, but there are things we can do to combat that stress, like yoga, meditation, and maybe even getting a massage. What is your favorite way to get rid of stress, and how does it give you relief? And it's interesting because a lot of people, especially right now during the climate of the world and the space we are in right now, there are a lot of people going through stress, even children. Like when I was a little kid, you did not hear about kids having anxiety. And it's not like anxiety was not a thing. Anxiety has always been, a thing. People have always been stressed and stuff, but you didn't hear of children having anxiety, or, it wasn't talked about. If a child had something like, some type of learning disability, that was different than kids being stressed out. A lot of kids now, not just in middle school, you think that middle school is a time when kids, start to get stressed because their bodies are changing. It's a lot going on. But kids are starting to get stressed out in elementary school. And a lot of that is not what's going on at school that's stressing them out. A lot of that stuff is what's going on in the home that's stressing them out. A lot of the parents are stressed out and don't know how to manage their stress. And so that energy rolls over to the children. And when these kids go to school, you have, a classroom full of stressed out children because of what's going on in the home. When I was a little kid, when I was young, I remember there are certain things that on TV that my mother would not let me watch. There were, if it was a lot of stuff going on in the news, my mother would not sit me in front of the TV to watch the news and, watch all of the bad things that was going on in the world. But we don't shelter our kids anymore. We don't shelter, we don't hold anything from our children. So our children see things that are going on in the world. They hear things that are going on in your house. They hear you. They hear you when you're on the phone talking about their dad. They hear you. They hear you when you're talking to your friends about how stressed out your job is. They hear all that. They hear you when you're talking about, oh, my car broke down. I don't have enough money to get it fixed. They hear that. And that stuff is affecting them. They may not tell you. They're not going to tell you because they don't know how to verbalize, oh, mommy, I wish I could help you. Or, mommy, they don't know how to put that in words. They don't know how to help you. So they internalize all of that. And then knowing they're stressed out, they go to school and they act out because they're under so much stress. You allow them to see everything that is going on in the world. Like when I open TikTok and, see bombings in Beirut and, see all of these videos where people have lost loved ones, that stresses me out. So can you imagine a small child who is just given an iPad or a cell phone or access to a computer and they have no parameters as to what they're watching, what they're clicking on? Can you imagine all of the stuff that they're taking in? Because as an adult, I can only take in so much of that. And I know how to filter out the stuff that, is toxic. But kids don't know how to do that. They don't have that filter. And they're looking at things. They don't know how to vet stories. So they will look at something that is completely untrue and think that it's real because they don't know how to, go to Google and fact check or whatever. That part of their brain is not working yet. So it's up to us as parents to be careful about what our children are consuming on the internet so that a lot of this stuff is, filtered out and it's not messing with them or it's not messing up their mental health. Because just like we're responsible for our children's physical health, we're responsible for taking them to the doctor, we're responsible for getting, making sure their shots are up to date, we're responsible for taking them to the dentist, you are responsible for your child's mental health. You're responsible for your own mental health. And a lot of people are like, well, I didn't get that when I was a kid. No one took care of my mental health. But just because it didn't happen to you does not mean you shouldn't do it for your child. Especially if you know that you were stressed out and you realize as an adult there are certain things that should have been done for you as a child. Wouldn't that make you want to do those things for your child? Just because I survived, I messed up. Hey, Tina, I messed up. Not tiny, girl. Now, I'm going to keep that to myself, okay? Just because you were messed up and scarred and you survived as a child doesn't mean that you want those scars and bruises on your child. So we need to be teaching our children coping skills, how to navigate the school environment, especially our middle schoolers. How to navigate the school environment, how to navigate other teachers and other kids who may be coming from toxic environments. I just saw a lady on TikTok and she said that her middle schooler, some kids at her school took pictures of her and gave them to a grown man and was like, come get some of this black PUSSY under the photo that he sent them. It's so many things that our kids have to deal with. And if we send our children to school unprepared in this day and age, right now, we are doing our children a disservice. It's schools are totally different now than they were when I was going to school. We didn't have half the challenges that these kids have now because there was no social media. There was no TikTok. There was none of these apps, Facebook, nothing. So, if I did something at my school, it stayed at my school. If I fell or, wore something ugly to my school, those ugly pictures weren't, circulating from one school to another. Everything that happened stayed at your school. But now, if something happens to your child, that video can go all over the world. Our kids are living a totally different life than the life that we lived when it comes to outside of the home. And if we're not preparing our children, we are definitely doing them a disservice. And the only way that we can prepare our children is if we are prepared. The only way we can help them is if we help ourselves first. You know how they say if something happens on the airplane, they always tell you to put your oxygen mask on first. Don't try to put your child's on first because you could pass out. Put yours on first, then put on your child's. Then both of y'all survive. So if you don't have the tools to help your child, you're going to fail. You and that child. And so I said this year, we are going to get back into, our mindfulness, our journaling to help boost ourselves so that we can help our children and grandchildren. If you're not positive, if your home environment is toxic, if you're arguing, if you're fighting, then your child is going to pick up those things and either think that they're normal and go out into the world and do them to other people, or just do them, period, because they see you doing them. So some habits we have to break. I got up this morning and someone had drank my juice. Now, I'm an only child. I was raised as an only child. And I'm selfish. Like, seriously selfish. I don't like for people to touch my stuff. I'm selfish. And I know that about myself. And so when it happened this morning, Spirit touched me in a mighty way and was like, you got to work on being selfish. You are 58 years old. You got to drop that. Now, I love helping people. I don't have a problem when it comes to helping people. If someone asks me to do something, I'm definitely going to do it for you. But if you take something of mine without asking, and it's so, when I was telling my husband that it had happened, he was like, it was just juice. Like, seriously, how much did the juice cost? But in my mind, I just kept saying, well, it was my juice. But we know it was yours. But is it a big enough situation to get upset about? Now, I know in the past that's the kind of stuff that will make me want to cuss you out. Seriously, over something that simple. But like, Spirit really spoke to me and was like, you have to stop being selfish. Let that stuff go. Why you got the money, go buy you another one. What's the big deal? You have coffee, you have other drinks, drink something else. And don't even let that bother you. And that's what we have to start teaching our children. When something happens, don't even let it bother you. Move on. Even if you don't have the money to buy another one, you will eventually. But see, we have to teach our children these coping skills. We have to teach ourselves these coping skills because sometimes we didn't have them. I didn't learn sharing in the home because I didn't really have nobody to share with. It was just me and my mama. And usually the things that I liked, she didn't really like. So it was just mine. And when I went to school, it wasn't, I'm definitely not sharing my food and stuff with other kids because, I was like, ugh, don't put your mouth on my stuff. But we have to teach our kids these type of, and of course my mother was, you know, be nice, it's nice to share and that kind of stuff. And, I don't have a problem helping other people. It's just the fact that I don't want to share my stuff. And that's what I have to work on. And then when you see things in your life, when these things come up and you have a problem with them, start working on them. Start to work on them. When you know you have a problem, start to work on them. Write these problems down. When these areas come up in your life, start to work on them. Yesterday, I did a live about, is the devil, is every time something happens to you, is it the devil or are you lazy? Stop blaming other things. Because I could have been like, you know what, the devil is so busy. Somebody got up this morning and drunk my juice. Huh? It's juice. Don't put the blame on the devil. Just move on. Accept it, fix it, and move on. I see so many people here on YouTube that are in these cycles, oh, I'm gonna fight you today. Okay, this fight finished, I'm gonna go over here and fight you. It's just like here, over here, over here. Oh, it's chaos. It's chaos. And I just wonder, like, is your real life that chaotic? I can't even watch these people fight every day. So I couldn't even imagine getting on here swinging on 4 or 5 people, making videos constantly. Oh, I'm fighting her. Oh yeah, I beat and forgot what we fighting about. But I'm just that type of person. For one, I'm gonna lose interest. This is no longer gonna be interesting to me. I can't fight you every day. Now, I done said what I said, and I'm not even gonna listen to what you said because I don't want to. I got too many other. I have a real life, so I don't see how some people just stay on a hamster wheel of negativity. You just going around and around and around in circles. Like, damn, are you gonna get off? I see it all the time on YouTube. And there are times when I can watch it and sometimes it's funny. But then, when I really think about it, like really, when I look at it with my spiritual eye, I be like, it's something going on with these people. These glasses is filthy. It's something going on. Like you have to have something in your life. You are unfulfilled somewhere. You have to be to sit up and fuss and argue and fight every single solitary day. You have to be. Oh, okay, Beefin 313, good to see you. You have to be unfulfilled. And when I get to that point where I start to, you know, find humor in a lot of that stuff and it gets funny to me, spirit starts to reel me in and be like, you going too far. And I have to, get back on my positivity kick. Because I can only ingest so much of that stuff before it just, gets out of whack for me. Because all of that stuff isn't funny. So it says, what is your favorite way to get rid of stress and how does it give you relief? I think my favorite way of I do like yoga, but I haven't been, I like to watch yoga more than I actually like to do it. It relieves my stress watching somebody else do yoga. Because actually, for me, doing yoga is kind of stressful because I'm not out here trying to hurt my joints and stuff. So I actually feel good watching other people do yoga. So I like to, watch people do yoga. I like to watch other people exercise, which probably sounds crazy, but I really do. If the person is, like I love watching like little short TikTok videos of people. So? Dang. Oh, no. Stay here, Gizmo. I love watching like short videos on TikTok of people exercising and stuff. Now I'm not gonna get up and do it with them, but sometimes I enjoy watching that. I enjoy a good cup of coffee. Just making a good iced coffee is relaxing for me. Just taking a nice hot shower, doing my hair, and putting on a nice soft pair of pajamas, lounge wear, whatever you want to call it, and kicking back in the bed is relaxing for me. Sometimes crochet is extremely relaxing, especially if it's a pattern that I don't really have to think about. if it's something that I, have the same repetitive stitch over and over and over and over, and I don't really have to think about it, I don't have to try to read the pattern, because reading patterns stresses me out. I get so stressed out by patterns. No matter how much I try, the patterns stress me out. So if I'm gonna do a crochet project, it has to be something that I already know how to do, like making hats or, making a scarf or something, really simple that I don't have to follow a pattern. Because if I'm trying to relax, I don't want to get stressed out. So I love to crochet. I like to paint. And, I just get my watercolors and just paint. I'm not trying to make a masterpiece or anything like that. I'm just, relaxing, just having fun. And one other thing that I really love to do is watch the sunset. Because we have a beautiful view of the sunset. That is so relaxing to me. Just sitting in the backyard watching the sunset. I mean, if it's a nice day, because it can get a little windy because we're so close to the bay that it can get a little windy. So if the weather is nice, I just like to sit and watch the sunset. Those are some really relaxing things for me. So you have to find those things that are relaxing for you and do those things. It don't have to, be the same things that I do. Some people are relaxed when they're cleaning. Cleaning helps some people relieve their stress. That has never been a stress reliever for me, because I see cleaning as a chore. So that's not a stress buster for me. But if cleaning is your thing and cleaning is, a stress buster for you, then, cleaning. Organizing. Find out, what makes you feel good and do those things. When your kids get home from school, don't force them to go right into doing their homework. Let them come down. Give them a chance to wind down. Let them get a snack. They may want to tell you, what happened at school. Don't just, walk in the front door, go do your homework. Give them a chance to decompress. They have had a long day also. Yes, you've had a long day at work, but they have had a long day at school. Because most of the kids, they have been at school or away from home as long as you have. So they're tired too. So, let them decompress for a while. Maybe they can have a little activity that they can do to kind of bring their stress levels down before they, go into their homework. Because kids are stressed. These kids are stressed. These kids are going through a lot. These kids are seeing a lot, and they're going through a lot. So we as parents and grandparents and aunties and uncles, whoever is around you as part of the village are responsible for the children. And so we are the ones that have to give them these tips to help them be more positive and more able to navigate this world. So this book has a lot of space for you to journal. And for the people that are late, this is a woman's gratitude journal, 200 writing prompts and inspirational quotes for everyday happiness. So the quote is, in this world, It is not what we take up, but what we give up that makes us rich. The things that we stop doing, me being selfish, the things that we stop doing that help us out, that's what makes us rich. Being able to, you know, meditate and stay more positive and not allow the outside influences to hurt us. And teaching our kids at a young age that there will be outside influences. That they're gonna be there. They happen to me too. You know what I mean? I ain't perfect. I ain't never came on here and told any of you that I was perfect. Don't nothing never happen to me. Yes, stuff happens to me too. There are days when I be in my moods or, I'm not as positive or as I want to be, but I realize it and I get back on track. I don't stay there. I don't live there. And I don't allow anybody to live rent free in my head, not in my space. I try to keep my head as clear as possible because I don't want to be out here on a hamster wheel, just running and not going anywhere, not making any strides. I'm too old for that. If I was going to do the hamster wheel thing, I should have done that eons ago. This my relaxation phase right now. I'm at a point in my life where I don't want a whole lot of outside influences messing with my peace. I'm at my peaceful phase. We all go through phases in life. In your 20s, you out here, you're reckless. In your 30s, you're starting to, understand who you are, and maybe you're really putting the pieces together. Oh, I'm going this direction. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. In your 40s, you're a little bit more stable. You're relaxing. You really know who you are, and in your 50s, you are in a peaceful phase. You have learned so much about yourself. Hopefully you've learned a lot about yourself. And you're not still in that same phase that you were in your 20s. Hopefully you're doing things differently than you were in your 20s. And if you're not, hopefully you're trying to figure out, how can I? Unless you just, the hamster phase is just you. You just want to stay there. That's where you want to live. But I think I've been mature for a long time. I probably came here mature. You know. So that's it, y'all. I didn't want to stay on here too long. We're going to do one mindfulness moment. Let's see. Like clouds in the sky, everything is in a constant process of change. And this is so perfect for us today because we should be constantly changing. We should be constantly evolving, constantly moving, constantly changing, constantly growing. Because if you're not, you can't help anybody. If you're stuck, you can't help anybody. You can't help your kids if you haven't grown. I look back and realize I'm a different person now than I was when I was a 30 something year old mother. I'm a 58-year-old mother and grandmother now. And I'm totally different than I was when I was just somebody's mother. I've learned, not only have I learned, so much about myself, I parent, my kids are adults now, they have children. So, of course, our relationship has changed because I'm no longer parenting a child, I'm parenting an adult. So our relationship has evolved, and I have evolved as a person. And you should be too. You should be constantly changing. And you should be seeing those changes in yourself, depending on where you are in life. You want your kids to be healthy, even if you were not in a healthy relationship. And I know that a lot of people, you know, did not grow up in healthy relationships, but that doesn't mean that your child can't. You can change. You don't want for your child the same thing that you received. You want better for them. And the only way you can do better for them is if you change. You change some things. So I hope that you will get a journal and start doing your journal prompts with me. I don't know if we're going to do these every Thursday. I'm going to pick a day. I think we're going to start doing these on Wednesday because I think Wednesday will be Wellness Wednesday. So I'm trying to find a theme for days, but we did something else yesterday. But I think our journal prompts and our mindfulness and all of that kind of stuff will be on Wednesdays from now on. I keep saying I'm going to do a schedule. I ain't get the schedule yet, but I am going to work on that. I need to put a calendar up so that I can do a schedule. And so Wednesdays we will come in and talk about wellness and how to make ourselves, especially women, because we carry the weight of the family. It's on us. I don't care how men say that they are the head of the household, they do this, they do that. We carry the family on our shoulders because we get blamed. Everything that don't go right gets blamed on us, especially black women. And if we don't keep ourselves in a position where that stuff does not penetrate our spirit, we're going to be in some trouble because we catch it. We're responsible for everything. Everything is on us. And if we're not keeping ourselves healthy mentally and spiritually, we're not going to make it. So this will be our way to come together and talk about, different things that are going on in a safe environment and, try to stay positive and keep moving. Okay? I love you guys and I appreciate you being here. I don't want to be here too long today. So I will see you guys later. Thank you for coming. I love you. Bye.